Hey everyone, I'm Heather Eichman and I'm product marketing for A360 and just want to welcome you to today's Hangout. We will be talking about our A360 mobile app. Going to hand it over to the experts now. So I'd like to hand it to Eli. Eli, can you just give us a little bit of an overview and tell us what the mobile app's all about?
Of course. Thank you, Heather, and thank you everyone for joining in. It's a pleasure to be here. Very excited to talk to you and answer some of the questions. So let me just give a quick few words about myself. My name is Eli Woodbane. I manage the A360 mobile team. So let's talk about A360 mobile. Okay, so let's start with what is A360 mobile and what is it good for. So I assume most of you already are using A360 web and some of you are using A360 mobile. And the intention or the strategy that we have around A360 mobile is basically to be the mobile extension of A360 web. A360 web gives a lot of capabilities, but is kind of tied into the web browser. We want to make sure that we provide the access to the data, to the designs, and to the communication, not just in the web browser, but actually on your mobile device so you can carry it anywhere. It's relevant to pretty much all the stakeholders that we try to serve, all our customers in all of the industries.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Roy Oved and I'm the product manager for the A360 mobile team. I'm glad to be here and I'm really excited to show you what's going on in the mobile app. Before we drill down into the app, let's do like a quick introduction with the main screen. So on the left side, you can see the dark bar, which is the navigation menu. Let's just open it with the toggle button. You can now see the different sections. We have the activity, the projects, data, recent and offline data, and on the button you can notice the survey and the settings buttons. We will get back to this section later. Now let's dig into the projects. So I'll tap the projects tab, and here in the project screen you can see the list of all the projects that you are a member of. Let's press the A360 Hangout projects to drill in. Great. In the project page, what we can see, you can see on the top there is the tab bar where we can navigate between the project activity, the project data, and the project wiki. You can do it by either swiping, like that, or you can do it by tapping the tab like I tapped the wiki page right now. Let's start with the data. Okay, so in the data screen, you can easily browse through your files and explore all your folders. Let's open the Photos folder, for example. Great. As you can see, each file in your folder includes a thumbnail, the file name, and the last modification date. On the top right corner of the screen, you may notice the list icon. You can toggle between list and tiles view. Let's click the list one. Great. The list view is very useful if your files have a long file names, so you may prefer use the list view since it gets more space for the file name. Also very useful when you're using phones and not tablets. Let's switch back to the tiles view and get back to the parent folder by clicking the back button on the top left. Also, you may
Sorry, could you speak up a little bit? You started to sound a little quiet.
Oh, sure. Another thing you probably noticed is the information icon next to each file. If you like to get additional information about the file, you can just tap the info button and you'll see the information panel slides in. So in the information panel, we can see additional info like the file type, in which folder the file is located, when the file is created or modified, and we will also add more details later on in the future. Let's close the panel and open the A360 robot file design. So I tap the robot and the design is loaded. So first of all, welcome to our mobile viewer. As mentioned before by Eli, the mobile viewer supports more than 100 file formats, both from Autodesk and other competitors' file types. And you can easily interact the design very intuitively using the basic gestures. So let's go through these gestures. First of all, you can use 2 fingers to pan the design and move it around the screen. You can pinch in and out to zoom in and zoom out. You can use 1 finger to orbit.
So this is where it's worth mentioning that since this is a live streaming of the video, you're not able to see the full experience actually. You're seeing it image by image, but actually when you play with it on a mobile device, it'll be much smoother than that. So grab your device later on after this call and try it on your own. Roy is going to walk us through the whole thing, but you might see that it's not as smooth as you expect. Don't worry, it's just a streaming. Sorry, go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, thanks, Eli. Let me know if we need to slow down the interaction. Thanks. And also, you can use 2 fingers to rotate your design. Great. So now you can see on the right side, there is the toolbar. Let's tap the first one, the home button. As you can see, once I click it, we reset the view to the default view when we open the design. The second one, let's tap it. This is the parts panel. Here, I can see the list of all the parts in the design. I can scroll up and down to explore it. I can open and expand parts that assembled from inner parts, as you can see. Once I can also click a part in the list to isolate it and to focus on it. For example, let's take the hello sign. As you can see, once I tap it, so the viewer is focused on that part and the other parts are semi-transparent, so I can focus on that part. Right. If I click the selected part again, it will unselect and show the entire model once again. Great. Let's move on to the next toolbar. This is the third one. This is the sheets of layout. Here you can see the list of all the sheets of layouts in your design. In this sample we have only one, so I couldn't demonstrate it. But if you have additional sheets, so you can just tap one and it will be opened in the viewer. The last one is the properties panel. As you can see, it says it asks you to select a part in order to see its properties. So there are 2 ways we can select a part. One way is like we did before. If I go back to the parts list and click a part, then I move to the properties. So you can see here the list of properties on the right. For example, here it's the component name and name. Of course, it will show all the properties from the original files. So now let's unselect again the part and see the second way we can select a part. So it's basically as easy as just tap on the part. You see I tap it, it is selected, and if I move to the objects properties panel, I can see the selected part properties. Let's select different properties and see how it changes.
Hey Roy, I got a question for you specific to that thing right there. How do those properties get there? Is that something that's entered at the drawing level itself, right? All that property information and metadata?
Exactly. This is the properties information from whatever software you use, and you can add properties whether it's AutoCAD, for example. So all the properties you added to the part in your desktop software will be listed here.
Okay, I've got a couple of other questions for you too that are just specific to the things that you just covered. If we jump back up to the home button, I've seen a couple of questions come through where I clicked on my home button and I can't see anything. Is there anything, what can we tell the people on the phone, what causes that? Like all of a sudden I have to zoom in a bunch or zoom out a bunch or orbit around to find my drawing or my design. Is there any recommendation that we have for people where if you click on the home button and can't see your design, maybe you didn't set your default view up properly before you imported it in or uploaded it into the system, or what's the best case recommendation for something like that?
So first of all, just to make sure, when you first open the design in the mobile app, have you seen some default view or not? Usually it's supposed to, when you click the home button, to just get back to the same view when you open the design in the mobile app. If you click it and you see nothing, so there's might be something wrong that we need to test. And it will be great if you can contact us through the Autodesk, through the A360 community forum.
Okay. And then there's two more questions here, and I think it's a good time to do these too. As far as in your sheet view, when you clicked on the sheet button on the side, yes. Is there any way, if the sheets, they should just stack up below that? What if I don't see my sheets there? Is there something? Did I do something wrong there? Do I need to reload my file? If I don't see the additional views, save views or the save sheets?
Yes, so we do have some, I'm not sure if this is the case, but we do have some issue with when there is a long list of sheets, usually for Revit or Navisworks files. So if this is the case, so no, this is something we are well known of, and we work to fix it. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last question, there was a question that was typed into the system here. I've got, what's the best way to view like Navisworks or these 3D files if they're in my A360 drive folder? What would be the recommendation for, is it to move and copy those into your team folder so that then I can use the new viewer technology to view them, or is that the best case, or do you have any other thoughts on that, either to you or Eli?
Yes, so we
highly... Yeah, the setup, yeah, go ahead. The setup is the customer's got their files in the drive folder, and what do they need to do with them? They need to move them, right?
Yes, so as Eli mentioned, the new viewer technology is something that working with the A360 project data. So in order to benefit from all these great capabilities of the new viewer, the files should be copied to any of your A360 projects. In order to do this, we still don't have this functionality on the mobile app, but you can go to the web and through the actions menu of the file or the folder, you can tap to copy it into any of your A360 projects. Once the copy is done and the files are processed, you can be easily view them from the web or from the mobile design or from the mobile app using the new viewer technology.
Okay, and that's a good question because we get it a lot in the forums too, Bud and I do, where people are like, hey, I've got my stuff up there, my files, and I'm using the, trying to access it from the mobile app, and it's creating some havoc for me. It's not looking as awesome as I would have expected it to be, and so typically that's what we tell them too, to if they move or copy those files into a team folder, allow it to reprocess, then they should, and that typically fixes it. So that's a good thing for us to cover here. And that was a great question that one of our people that are on the call asked in.
Yeah, so it's very important to understand that the A360 drive does not use the new viewer capabilities. So in order to benefit from it, you should definitely copy the files to a project and view it with the new viewer technology.
Right. Now, and just to clarify for the folks that are listening in, that doesn't mean that, the 2D files, everything, I mean, everything still works okay, as far as that old viewer versus new viewer. It's not like all of a sudden you're not going to see anything. It's just for the most, to experience the enhanced 3D technology that we've created. They can put them into the team folders, and they'll be able to do it from there. Okay, very good.
Great, thanks, Brad. Let's move on to the upper right corner of the viewer. We have the couple of buttons there. So the first one is the switching to the full screen mode. All the controls just slide out, and we can view the design on the full screen. Let's tap it again to return all the controls. The next one is the share screenshot button. When I tap it, we actually take a snapshot of the current view. So let's just something more interesting and do some robot pose here. And take a snapshot. Here in this dialog, in this share screenshot dialog, you can see you can share through or send an email with the screenshot, or you can save it to your device photos library, or you can just copy the screenshot to any other Photos app you have on your device. Also worth mentioning, you can see the Add Markups button in the center, where you can tap and add markups before you just send the screenshots. On the bottom, you can see the toolbar. You can switch to any markup tool like pen, text box, arrow, measure, or rectangle. And you can also choose any color or size you want to mark up. So let's just do something. So let's say I finished my markup. We'll click the Done button on the top right corner. Oops. Something went wrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
Add hair.
Yeah, let me go do it again. So we can add our markup. And once we've done, okay, something went wrong. We need to test it out. Anyway, the markup will be added to your screenshot, and then you can just go ahead and share it via email or to any other app. Let's go back to the viewer.
Hey, Roy, on that markup topic there, we can also take pictures too, right? That's something that you can take a snapshot of an existing, but you can also take a picture if you want and add that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll get it in a second once we go to the activity. And we'll show how you can do it. So let's get back to our screen. And let's go and tap on the left navigation. Let's tap the data, which is where I am right now, sorry. Here in the data, we can see the A360 drive you mentioned before. And just for clarification, if someone is not familiar with the A360 drive, so if you use the Autodesk Sync desktop app, you can find all your synced files in this folder, in the A360 drive folder. And also, you can see here a folder for each of your projects. So basically, there are two ways to get to your project's data. One is by, like we did before, we tapped the project, and in the project, we moved into the data tab. And the other way is here from the data, where you can focus only on data and not on other project activities. So this is the second way. Let's move on and continue with data and click the recent data section. Here in the recent data, you can find all the recent files that were opened on this device. It's important to say only on this device. It's not data that you opened in other devices or in the web. And of course,
Roy, quick question.
Yes.
Quick question right there, Roy. All that recent data, is that that's really one of the things you mentioned early on was the ability, or that Eli mentioned early on, was the ability to work online and offline. And so would this be the location? This is where that data resides, right? Is the ability to go back and use this data for offline. This is where you're going to find that information. Is that correct?
Not exactly. This is exactly the next button I was about to push. So if you see after recent, there is the offline, which is the fifth button in the menu. And here are the files that are cached in your device so you can view when you're offline. So any files, all the recent files you opened in the device will be all automatically cached for offline. Of course, it depends on how many spare space you have in your device. So this is why there is the difference between the recent data and the offline data. So let's just show how it works. Let me just turn off the Wi-Fi. See? Turn it off. And we'll open the robot, the design that we've just opened. So as you can see, the file is opened. I can interact with it. I can see the parts list and everything related to the design. And this is while I'm offline. So this is something great you can do when you're on the go or you go to your site visits. You can see all the files when you're offline. Great.
Hey,
so
one
let
question
me just
around that, Roy. Yeah.
Yes.
What happens if if you create a comment here, or if you make and try to send somebody something, does it cache that, and then once you jump back online, it syncs and sends the email kind of a thing? Or is there an ability to do that, to make comments while you're offline, make a markup if you want to, and then it just sits there until you reconnect your network, and then it just pushes it at that point? Is that what happens?
Yes. So at the moment, if you do comments, you can do it while you're offline. This is something we're also planning in our roadmap. But you can do, like we showed before, you can take a screenshot and add the markups, and you can store it in your device or email it. And once you back to the network and have connection, the email will be sent. So if you use the share, you can do it. And later on, we'll add the ability also to make actions while you're offline, and they will be synced once you're connected.
Gotcha.
Great.
Hey, well, this might be a good opportunity for a question. We had somebody type in, hey, what if I've got a Dropbox or a Box account? Is there any way for me to link my A360 account to my existing Dropbox or Box, and then view that content with my mobile device? Maybe either you, Roy, or Eli can comment on that.
Yeah, so that's a great
question that we're
question.
thinking about and working on in the future. What might that be?
Yes, so that's a great question and a great feature. We actually currently working on letting the ability that you can open a file from your email or from your Dropbox app or Box app or Google Drive or whatever storage app that you have on your device, and using the open-in mechanism, you can tap it and select the A360 app, and the file will be copied to your A360 projects. This is something we coming pretty soon. In addition, we're also planning in our roadmap to connect, to do the integration with Dropbox or any other storage, cloud storage, so you can even browse all your Dropbox files from the app and send them and copy them into any of your projects. This is also something that we're coming on in our roadmap.
great. Great. That's good news.
So let me just bring back the Wi-Fi. And let's go back. Now I'd like to show you your project activity. So let's go back to the project screen and get into our Hangout project again. Here you can see the project activity. You can here get updated with everything going on in the project. You can see any designs uploaded, any new members joined, any messages and wikis in the projects. As you can see, you can tap any of the activities. Just tap it so you can see it in full screen, and you can see all the comments that are related to this message. You can also add your own comments just by clicking the comment button and post it, just like that. Now, as you mentioned before, if you'd like to add some new messages or upload some photos to your project, so you can see on the top right button corner of the screen the plus button. This button, let me tap it, is for creating new content to your project. So we can post a message. Let's tap it. As you can see, I can choose where to post it. In this case, let's post it to our Hangout project. And let's type our message. And post it. We can see now it's added to our project activity. And we can also take photos or choose photos from our photos library and upload them to the project. Let's choose photo. Here you can add a description or a title to your photo, and the same here you can add markups using the add markups button like we have shown before, and then you can post it and the file will be uploaded to any of your selected projects. Let me go back. To any of you who have more than one hub, you can also switch between these hubs and teams in the mobile app. Just toggle the navigation menu and you can see the arrow next to your username. When you tap it, you can see a list of all the teams you're part of, and whenever you can just click any of them and switch between your teams. Now let's go to the settings menu on the bottom left corner of the screen. Let's tap it. In the settings menu, you can clear all the recent data and the offline data from the device, and we have some great feedback and support that you can use. If you got any feedback to the mobile app, you can just tap the feedback and post anything you like, any request, any issue, and we'll get back to you on that. Also, I got back to the settings menu. You can click to view our A360 community and be part of the community. And another thing we highly recommend you to do is take our quick survey. When you click it, you can see our survey with what features you'd like to see next and what features you in the viewer would like to see next. You can help us and influence what's going up next in the mobile app. And I guess this is it for the live demo. If you have any questions, or you can switch back to the slides.
Question that came in.
Switching back to the deck, are there any other questions?
Yeah, actually there is. There was a really good one here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so somebody asked a question about the navigation tools that exist today in BIM 360 Glue in their mobile app. Will any of that transition, or are we thinking about that as a potential to add into what our current A360 mobile is to traverse big models, or moving around the model? And then also the other question was around the specific tools, gravity and sectioning, and is that something that we're thinking about? So two-part functionality that we have today in the Glue mobile app. Are we thinking about migrating that into A360, and then specifically a couple of things like gravity and sectioning? Are those some items that we might be thinking about as far as our roadmap?
Yes. So first of all, we are now already working on adding the walkthrough capability that probably you refer to in the BIM 360 app. So you can use you can just walk through the design and model. And regarding the sectioning and gravity, this is something that we might be later in our roadmap. But yeah, definitely walkthrough is something coming up pretty soon. So you can just switch the walkthrough control and walk through the design.
And that's something that would apply to both A360 web and the mobile app, correct? The walkthrough.
Yes, both teams are working on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm just even thinking before we move on, because there have been questions about BIM and some of the specific applications. I don't know if you're planning on talking about it later or if now is a good time, Eli or Roy, just about people who are using Fusion 360 and how the mobile app works with that.
Mm-hmm. So Fusion, for any of the Fusion users, the A360 mobile app fully integrates with any of your Fusion data. You can see your Fusion hub in the app. The viewer, I mean, any of the activities made through Fusion, any of the comments, you can see them. Any of the files uploaded through Fusion, and the Fusion F3D format is supported. This is full integration, so there's no problem for any of the Fusion users to use the app.
Yeah, perfect. And then just the same way that if someone were a member or participating in multiple hubs and that they could see their Fusion hub and their Fusion projects in that same drop-down under their profile, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so what's coming up and planning for the next mobile releases? So first of all, we would like to have all the measurement tools added so you can measure any dimension inside any design. We also plan to expand our markup tools, and not just for the screenshots, but also to actual markup in any 2D or 3D design on the design itself. Like I mentioned before, something that's coming up pretty soon, you can open any file from your email app or any other app and load it into your any A360 project using the mobile app. Also, the ability to search for files and projects, walkthrough, like mentioned before, explode, and we have some few more surprises for you, so stay tuned.